Hi, my name is Nonito, the Filipino Flash Donaire, and you are listening to the Main Event Boxing Show.
96.9.
We're joined on the phone now with former boxer and now commentator and boxing manager, amongst other stuff, Barry McGuigan. Hello, Barry.
How you doing, mate?
First question I've got for you, Barry. You know, obviously, you managed Carl Frampton. He was in action last week.
Yes, that's right, in Huddersfield.
Yeah, beating Oscar Chachin. How pleased would you with his performance?
Well, very pleased. I was kind of annoyed that Shakin came in 6 pounds heavier than we agreed, and so I asked him to skip off a bit, which he was reluctant to do, but he took off about 1.5 pounds, but it was a bit unprofessional of him to come in at that weight. He said he would be 8 stone 12, and that's what my fighter weighed. But Frampton handled him with ease. A guy that had gone 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks before that had gone 6 rounds, 6 competitive rounds with the European super bantamweight champion Kiko Martinez, and Carl just took him apart, and the referee stopped it compassionately in the 4th round with about 30 seconds to go. But have you no doubt Carl would have knocked him out. He's a terrific talent, punches very hard, he's very dedicated, he's a committed lad, he's very, very capable, and as I say, self-confident but not arrogant, and he is going to go a long way, and he's the best super bantamweight in the country, and that includes Scott Quigg, Rendell Munro, Jason Booth, Joe Murray, and all of them, which all of them I've got respect for, but Frampton's the best of them all, no question about it.
Okay, fair enough. So is Carl the only lad you manage at the moment?
No, I've got 3 other kids, 2 other kids as well. A fellow called Chris Keane, he's a top cruiserweight, light heavyweight. He won the ABA 90 kilos a couple of years ago, and Troy James, who won on Friday night as well, down in he beat a good Bulgarian guy down in Coventry, so they're coming along as well. But Carl is I suppose the most talented, and you have to say he's got the most potential.
Okay, great. So he's managing boxers as easy or as hard as you thought? Has the changeover been quite?
Well, no, it is not easy to manage a boxer and to keep him busy, and all the boxing promoters and managers out there will understand where I'm coming from. It's difficult to get guys on fights. It's difficult to actually make money as a promoter in these hard-bitten times. It's just difficult to actually make things work financially, and therefore you're reluctant to put on shows where you're going to lose money. So I know all that, and having put on 2 shows in Belfast, and we lost a bit of money, but in every other way they were hugely successful. And what I have discovered is that there's a major appetite for Carl Frampton in Belfast, and he is and Sky want to go back there with him, so we have the potential to put him on over there in big meaningful fights.
Excellent. Do you ever get involved with the training, Barry? Dust the shorts off and get in the ring?
No, I don't dust the shorts off in the sense I haven't sparred since I retired from boxing, but I take him on the pads and do technical work with him, and do the strength work with him, and do my and go to the gym with him. When he runs in the gym, he runs a lot on the road, obviously, and does his hill sprints. But when he's in the gym and running on the treadmill, I'll do the cross trainer with him to keep him company, and I'll do the weights routine with him. I'm still pretty fit and strong, but a boxer should never, when he retires, get into sparring. It's not such a good idea. So I watch him and I make sure that he gets the best quality sparring. He's been working up there with John Simpson. He's been down in London, in the top gyms in London, and he sparred with Jason Booth, and he's sparred with them all, and he's getting better and improving all the time.
Great, excellent. We're joined in the studio today, Barry, Bobby Riddle and Leonard Gunning. I'm sure, I don't know if they've got any questions.
Yeah. How are you doing, Barry? You all right?
Not bad.
Barry, it's always been a big family sort of thing, boxing with you,
Yep.
Back then, your father used to sing you into the ring, your brother was always there by your side, and now you've got your sons involved in the game as well.
Yeah.
What role do they play in the setup?
Well, Jake is a very clever boxing brain, and he works with me in my academies. I've got academies in Stockport, and we've got ones in Leicester and East Berkshire and Filton, and there are a number of other colleges that are taking it on in September. So that's developing. So he works with me in that, but he's also like a complete boxing aficionado. He's an ABA coach. He trains trains and keeps fit. So he watches the game and follows the game intimately. So he is, and he's got a very good opinion on the game. And will turn out to be a decent coach himself. Shane, of course, who won the National Senior Novice title over here, won the Irish Under-21 and won the Ulster Seniors, has actually got the empirical experience and advice, and he's also a strength and conditioning coach, and he's also working on doing a distance learning degree on nutrition. So he knows what it's like to do these diets. So he does the diets for all my fighters, and he got Carl down to incredibly low body fat.
Is that on the caveman diet?
This was on the caveman diet before his last fight, and loads of other athletes have asked him to do work with him. But he's a great coach, a boxing coach. He's great tactically, and so we are completely and totally absorbed by boxing. Every weekend we've had this weekend in Zurich and Martinez, and we had Mayorga and Cotto, and we had Woolgar beat Yuri Foreman, and so we discuss everything and read all the forums and watch all the sport. And of course I write my column every week in the Daily Mirror on boxing, and so suffice it to say that we are completely submerged in boxing and everything boxing. So it's a fairly boring time for my daughter and my wife here, but and it's a family effort, and we're heavily involved in, and of course Shane will run with Carl, and Carl finds it hard to keep up with him, but that's another story. No, but they train together, and he's wonderful on the pads, and so it supplements what Jerry Story does over in Belfast. So and what I'd like to do is when he comes over here, I'll spend a week or 10 days with him in Scotland, or we'll go and we'll just be like gypsies and go to all the gyms in London. We'll just go where the sparring is. You just get the best sparring, and then he'll do his second or third session a day with me and with Jake. So we're all sort of tuned into it and involved in it, and then I'll go to the Red Corner gym up, occasionally go up to Troy and Chris where they train in Coventry, and so it's all good fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, and listen, you've got you had such a support in Ireland. You were phenomenal in Ireland, cross border and cross community.
Yeah.
And there's not many that can really replicate that or have replicated that since the 80s. But now you've got Carl Frampton, who seems to.
Frampton, sorry to cut you off the end or truncate your question, but you're absolutely right. This kid can do it, and we've already proven he can do it. And here's a kid who's a Protestant kid from East Belfast, proud of his roots, and yet boxed for he boxed for
EU medal in Dublin.
He boxed and won an EU medal in Dublin, and had probably 35 to 40 international bouts,
Ireland,
and 25 of them been in the full Irish singlet. He's from East Belfast. He's got a West Belfast girlfriend. He represents all that a shared future should be about, and people recognise that over there. And he is a wonderfully nice kid, and completely and totally dedicated, and is a serious talent. And I know that you appreciate the sort of talent he's got. And obviously we're watching this weekend when Willie will be fighting Rigondeaux or Rigondo, or whatever you want to call him, in Ireland, and keeping an eye on that. So we're in tune with everything that's happening, and things are going along very well. Sky showed them, albeit in a small way, last Thursday, but they're very interested because they know the potential. I mean, Richie Woodall and Ed Robinson were raving about him, and we know the potential he's got. And what's more, all the other kids out there in the super bantamweight, they're aware of how good he is as well. And I know I don't want to come across as sounding arrogant, and we have great respect for all these kids, including Scott Quigg, who's a great talent, and we have great respect too for Monroe, particularly, who's going to fight again for the world title, and I would imagine could push Molitor very closely, and Jason Booth, of course, as well, who's a great guy, been great for the sport, and we really love him as a person, just a lovely man. And all of the guys that are out there, I don't think Murray's going to be able to do super bantamweight. He's too fragile, I think, at super bantam, but a great kid and got great talent, and would be a very good featherweight, I think. So we're aware of all of the kids, and Reece Roberts, too, a nice talented kid as well. So there's lots of ability, lots of talent out there, and lots of kids with ability. And the Walsh young kid, Michael Walsh too, is very talented. So we're keeping an eye on all of these guys, and of course with the internet, it makes things easier. But ultimately, can the kid fight? Yes. Can he punch ridiculously hard? And can he take a shot? Yes. Can he fight coming forward? Yes. Can he fight backing up? Yes. Has he got a personality? Yes. Has he got the X factor? Absolutely. And he's got a huge audience over in Ireland, and they're going to be massively behind him. And we're all rooting for Paul McCluskey when he fights Amir. Amir's a great friend of mine. He's a very talented guy, and everybody fancies him very strongly. But Paul McCluskey has got a wonderful chance here.
Excellent. Barry, just moving on, mate. Are you work for Sky as well, commentating. Are you covering the fight at the weekend, John Case and Liam Walsh?
I am indeed. Yeah, I'll be there at the weekend, and we're going to be doing Vitaly Klitschko and Oleander Solis.
Yeah.
That's coming in from Germany as well. So it's an important night for us. It's important for the game, important for the sport, because we have to see. It could be the end of the road for Vitaly Klitschko. People forget he's 40 years old, and guys can become old in front of your eyes overnight. So it's a very tough fight from Solis. Has gone a bit wayward. He's put on a lot of weight, but he was an outstanding amateur boxer, world champion a few times, and is a very, very dangerous opponent.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Barry, we're going to have to cut it short there, just because we're running out of time. It's been great.
I talk too much, Boggy, that's the problem, you see. I can't shut my mouth.
It's alright, we'll just get you on earlier next time.
Well, that's me and that Gunning fella, you see. Two Irishmen together can't keep us quiet.
Last question I've got, mate, is you doing anything St. Patrick's Day?
Believe it or not, I was supposed to be in Manchester speaking, but something happened there that it didn't work out. I'm actually going to be spending time with my family now that I've got a few days off. I'm running all over the country. I was in Birmingham on Thursday. I was in London on Friday. I was in Glasgow on Saturday. So it's just always busy and constantly going. And I love it that way. It's great to be part of the coverage of boxing and being involved in the game and steeped the way I am. But so not doing anything. Hopefully going to have a restful time on St. Patrick's Day. But thank you for that, Barclay, and thank you to Leonard too. And good luck with the show, and keep your interest in boxing. It's very important.
Cheers, Barry. Appreciate that, mate. Speak to you soon, mate.
Bye.
Okay, that was Barry McGuigan. He can talk a bit, can't
I? We didn't even mention Pedrosa once.
I know, yeah.
I went to watch that fight. I went to watch it live, the Pedrosa fight.
Did you, yeah?
Yeah. Went with my dad and a couple of the friends, yeah. I think it was at Queen's Park Rangers.
Queen's Park Rangers, Loftus Road, massive occasion in Ireland.
Oh, it was brilliant. One of the funniest things, I don't know if a lot of people remember it, but when Pedrosa got in the ring, they lifted a little bloke dressed as a leprechaun in the ring, and he ran over to Pedrosa and threw like a load of gold dust on him.
Yeah.
And it took him ages to get out of the ring before the fight started.
I didn't know.
Because it was like this shiny stuff,
glitter,
like glitter, so it's dangerous, isn't it? It was all over him. He was like, that Pedrosa, what's that?
I remember meeting Barry McGuigan at the Ben Eubank fight in Old Trafford. He was talking there for about 45 minutes.
Yeah,